Hey, friends! Happy Thursday. Welcome to the first edition of Something's Puzzling Gus in quite a while. Um, as you can see, I'm flying solo today. The very lovely Jess is not feeling the most best, so I get to do something on my own. And I was like, well, I'm going to play one of my favorites. And I went, I guess you guys couldn't play along with me, but um, maybe you could if you kind of like jot down the dice and stuff as we play them. We're gonna do some Three Sisters tonight, which is a wonderful roll and write from the Motor City Gameworks folks. The awesome duo of Pinchback and Riddle, who did Late the Dice Game, who did this one, Three Sisters, who've done French Quarter, Motor City, um, just solid rolling right after rolling right after rolling right. So, um, yeah, I hope everybody's week has gone well. Jess and I have had a pretty good week. It's been fun continuing to get landed here in Central Oregon. And um, yesterday we had a cool little outing. We went to a nearby town that was having a cattle drive through town. Um, we did not know what to expect. None of us had ever been to this, so we were all just going to see what was up. And there was quite a few people lining the streets for this cattle drive, and I'm expecting like big beefy bovines just rolling down the road, and we chalk up on a curb and wait and see the beginning with some cars and then some folks on horses and then about 20 little cows, all lined up like preschoolers on a little rope heading falling behind their teacher, came walking down the street. And then there was a couple of wagons, covered wagons and stuff, and that was that. Um, but it was fun. Well, guess what, folks? Jess CCG is with us in spirit, even if she can't be here uh, in person. She's throwing the SB love, our wonderful doggo, who is also supporting from somewhere else in this house. I did decide, love, since you couldn't be here, I chose the purple marker in your honor. So I will be using purple to navigate through my garden today. But yeah, we had a really fun time. Even though the cattle drive was not as cattle-y as I was hoping for, we did find a awesome Pendleton beef place, that had some gigantic sausages, and maybe those cows at some point are going to turn into these. And that was fun. But just to see the town turn out, it was definitely the small town feeling little hangout. So that was fun. And it just reminds us that, like, yeah, we're in a different place now. We're in um, a slightly more rural area, and uh, having fun and checking out new things. Time Roller's here. Whoops, Time Roller. How you doing, friend? Hope your week is going good. Um, yes, that was a fun thing this week. And the James Brazil is here. Awesome. Hello, friends. James, I hope your week is going well. And yeah, it's been pretty good around here. I was trying to think of like what will I play today. Um, I was like, well, I've got to get out rolling, right? Because I want to play something with dice. Anytime I get to play a game, I want to play something that has dice. I was looking through the Gen Con list, for what's coming this time, because Jess is gonna head out there, and that's just like, man, that's like a month away. It's coming quick. So I went through the whole list. There's 300 odd titles or something right now, and there's more being added all the time. And I was like, okay, what games do I want Jess to check out for me, and potentially bring back for our library here? You can see we've got spots. There's gaps. Things could go in. Always room for one more. Um, and I was like, man, this card game sounds cool, and this card game sounds cool. I was like, where's the dice? So there's a couple different titles. I'll have to look back and see which ones are really catching my eye. But yes, she's the mule. She's the hookup. It's nice to have somebody who ventures their way into the masses there in Indy, Um, and luckily, she's always got the ability to kind of like get in a little early, and sometimes that allows a chance to go hit some of these places first. And so, yeah, I'm making my list, and I'm gonna have her review it and see what she thinks. And I've never been, James. The biggest that I've been is PAX U, which I think is around like 15 to 20,000 people. And I was feeling its size a couple of years ago. Last year they did a much better job of fitting it in. So I'm wondering like if it was as big as it was, if Gen Con would continue to be as big as it was, but if they had the space to make it a little more spread out. 20-ish years ago, that's OG, man. Yeah, I we weren't even in the hobby yet. We got in the hobby in 2015, so it wasn't long before that that Jess was at Gen Con. I think we started in 2015 and she was there in like 2019 or something. So uh, it went quick for getting those feet wet at the biggest convention in the states. We still have our dream of going to Essen Spiel. Um, we'll see when the dice will roll for us to be able to make that happen. I was gonna say when the cards aligned, but I was just talking about dice. So we got to roll the lucky seven and make our way to Essenspiel because I've heard that's big. So that will be intriguing. Exactly, right? Like put me in Europe and then put me in Germany so I can score some good sausages and beers and also go get lost in a giant crowd. I don't even know like what Essen would be like. I have no concept in my brain of what it's going to be like to walk into that place and try to find what you're looking for. Like, how do you navigate it? How do you figure out what is the place to go hit and grab games, and what's not going to be in the states, and what's worth trying to lug back to the states, right? Like, so again, muling things like that seems pretty tricky. So yes, bucket list trip. And who knows, maybe UK Game Expo and Panda's going for the first time. Panda's going to Essen? Oh man. All right, so she's got to get things figured out, and then that's an American friend that could come with us, and then we can meet up with some European friends and have a cool little pod, like making our way through the traffic. Yeah, that's exciting if she's going there. Hopefully she'll come back up to OrcaCon in the winter and we can get all the deets and just hear like, how did it go? What did you learn? What would you do different? Um, James, do you have cons in your area that you go to now? What size are those? Here in Oregon, we got our big one, Game Storm, which is around 2,500 people, something like that. And that's, easy peasy. It's fairly easy to navigate around. So looking forward to that every year. And then OrcaCon up in Seattle is awesome. If you're ever looking to get to the Northwest in the winter, in the chilly, in the wet, you can come to OrcaCon. Then you have no desire to go outside, so you just stay inside and play all the games. So it works out great. What else are you going to do in Seattle in January? Except go to OrcaCon. All right, well, I did say we're going to play some Three Sisters, so we are going to play some Three Sisters. That is what we see here. Three Sisters is a lovely combo-y roll and write game, and when we played Fleet the Dice game forever ago, I was like, oh, this is wonderful. And then we got to try this one, and I was like, oh, I love this one. So Jess is a Fleet girl. She likes the Fleet the Dice game. I happen to be a bit of a Three Sisters guy. There is the Squatchy sighting. Goatee is in play. So our mascot is here with us. Um, Three Sisters. The name of this is based on a technique of growing crops that was developed by indigenous peoples centuries and centuries ago. They found these three different crops that are beneficial for each other when they plant them together. And those are corns, beans, and squash. The corn provides a lattice for the beans to climb. The beans transfer nitrogen from the air into the soil, and then the squash creates a natural ground cover that reduces weeds and helps keep pests away. So by planting all three of these things together, they create a little mutually beneficial garden and everything benefits. So in Three Sisters, and this farming system is still in place today. So century old thing that was discovered by people who were, just working the land and found the best way to work with it is still something that gets applied today, which is really cool. So this game is based on that. All right. So James says Dice Tower West is too much for me, so think maybe might try smaller ones in the future. Um, BGG Con. BGG Con was a lot of fun. That one, and it was in Dallas, right? So you get some good barbecue, a lot of good people turn out. It's kind of, if I remember correctly, it was like early November-ish, so you haven't really hit the holidays yet, and so really did enjoy BGG Con. Fairly easy place to travel to, right? Dallas has all the major travel stuff. So haven't been to Dice Tower West, just did it, but Vegas isn't really my scene. But yeah, it's fun to try all these and kind of see. I have a sister who lives in Columbus, so maybe one of these years we'll try to make our way to Origins and see what that one's about. Um, James could drive. Yes, there you go. Well, maybe one year we'll meet down in BGG Con, man. I don't. Have you and Jess even gotten to meet in person? That would be awesome to sit at a table. St. Louis, is that a Gateway to the West or whatever that one's called? That's supposed to be a pretty cool one. Also, good barbecue, right? So Dallas has good barbecue. St. Louis has good barbecue. We need to make something happen here. I want to go try some of these out. All right, so how do we play Three Sisters? We're going to be playing it in solo mode. Normal standard mode is 2 to 4 players, but there is a solo mode that involves Farmer Edith. And if you've ever played the solo mode in Fleet the Dice game, where she kind of she's a competitive person in Fleet the Dice game. She's hacking away at your fishing grounds. The same thing's going to happen here. But I like to think of it as she's a chatty person. And so she comes in, starts chatting to me, and I forget to do things. And so I lose track and I have to challenge. I have to remove those things. I saw James's chat there, and it actually influenced what I said. So she is a challenge. She is a chatty challenge, and she will come and make you forget to plant your crops or where you set down your shovel. And she'll borrow your wheelbarrow and not return it and all of that kind of stuff. So how this is going to work, for 2 players, we are going to have 4 dice. The dice pool grows depending on the player count, because everybody's going to get to choose. In a normal game, you would choose 1 and then everybody would share a die that was left over. In a 2-player game, we're going to get to choose 2, but there's some restrictions around that. In a 1-player game, sorry, solo mode, there's some restrictions around what you choose. Farmer Edith is also going to choose dice, and she is going to go hack away at certain areas. She's going to take them from you. And then I'm including the weather expansion that we have that just adds a little bit of more complexity, as if Farmer Edith wasn't complex enough. But in essence, what we're going to do is over 8 rounds, we're going to roll these dice. They're going to lay out on this rondelle here, and then we are going to choose dice from the rondelle. The dice are going to be placed in pools of their numbers, and then go around the rondelle based on going increasingly larger with those pools. So, if we rolled a 1, a 3, and 2 6s, we start here on the one that's got the gold pin. I got 1 1, 1 3, and 2 6s. So we created 3 different groupings based on the numbers, and we're going to then choose dice from this rondelle. You're going to get to choose a die. That is going to give you an ability to plant or water in the 1 to 6 numbered garden plots that you have, as well as do an action that that die comes from. So not only are you going to get to choose something based on the number on the die, you're going to get to do something based on where you're choosing it from. So what type of action might you want to do? And as we go through each of them, you're going to kind of see. But basically, there's apiaries or fruit. So we got an apiary up here where we got to take care of our bees. We got our fruit orchards and the different bushes. Each one of those gives you a different kind of thing depending on what you want. Points or extra waterings or some goods that you can gather that are going to help you at farmers markets. Besides that, we have perennial sections. So this is where we're going to be growing flowers, and then we have our shed. In the shed are a lot of different tools and things that can either help you straight score points or give you some kind of ability throughout the game, so that when you do certain actions, you're going to be able to do them better. After I choose one of my dice, Farmer Edith's going to choose one. And then I'm going to choose, and I have to choose whichever one is lowest of the two that are left. So I would choose this 3, and then Farmer Edith's going to get to do that last 6. She's going to do the same things, though. So the number that is on the die, she is going to come into your garden area, and she's going to whack some of those plants. She's going to... I'm going to stop saying that. She's going to cause you to forget to plant those plants. So you have to scratch those areas out because you forgot to plant them. Also, whatever area she's grabbing the die from, she's going to go do an action in one of those areas. You're going to have to scratch that out, so you won't be able to do some of those things. So you got to stay on top of this, because those things, she's chatty. She's going to distract you and keep you from doing all your chores. So once we've selected all the dice, there is an end of round action that we're going to do. And I should say that in the odd number rounds of 1 through 8, I get to be the first player. In the even number rounds, Farmer Edith will be the first player. And then at the end of those rounds, we will do another action, a shed action. It might rain. We got a farmer's market where we can go get some goods or use our goods to get some extra actions. And then wherever the last die that was chosen, whatever number it had on it, we're going to set the weather for that next round. So in the first round, there's nothing. We haven't set any weather yet, basically. It's foggy, but there's no effect. But after that, the die that's left over is going to determine what kind of weather there's going to be. And there's lightning, which means we may not be able to do any watering actions. It's cold. We can't go do anything with the apiary. The bees got to huddle together and stay warm. Cloudy. At the start of round, we get to do an extra perennial actions. Our flowers are happy because they're getting some partial sunshine. It's hot. We get to do some extra fruit actions, because I guess fruit thrive in heat. And windy, you get to do something there too. So all kinds of cool things that you get to do. A lot of these are going to give you an extra little like combo thing. So if you get a couple of these pumpkins grown completely, you'll get to do the perennial action that's in between them, and then that perennial action might give you some more goods or an extra watering or a shed or, all kinds of stuff. The things to remember in the garden area, there are the pumpkins, the squashes, the corn, which is these long, tall plants to grow, and then the beans, which, if you'll notice, start partway up the corn. In order to plant, you can plant a pumpkin at any time. You can plant a corn at any time when you have those actions. But in order to plant a bean, you have to have a corn that is already up to the 2nd level. And that's where the bean first square lines up. So in order to plant your beans, you got to get some corn growing first, because they need that lattice in order to be able to grow. Yeah, so a lot of the stuff, we'll just see how it plays out as we go. The goods. In the goods, if you've ever played Fleet the Dice game, which is probably the most popular one, every 5th good, you get a star action, and a star can be used anywhere except in the garden area. You can't go mark one of your plants for the next spot, but you can come up to the apiary, the orchards, the perennials, the shed, and you get to mark a free spot. In most of these spaces, these spots are squares, and the squares often don't have any kind of extra ability or anything. But the circles mean that you've completed something, and so you will score points for that at the end of the game. And then in some areas, like the perennials, they have kind of like an octagon shape, and that's to just tell you like there's something good that you're going to get to do as you go up. So stars are a free fill in any of the areas outside of the garden. We have compost over here. You start with one compost. Compost is the ability to adjust the die that you choose up or down one value. So let's say I really wanted to be in a particular garden plot. I wanted to be in 4, not 3. I could take the 3, I could use one of my composts, and I could come over to the 4 section to do my planting or watering action instead of doing it in 3. And you can use as many of those as you want on a turn. And the die does wrap. So 6 becomes 1, 1 becomes 6, etc. All right, so let's kick this off. And we will set up our first roll. So remember, this is an odd round, so I get to go first. We have a 3, 2 4s, and a 5. Farmer Edith is going to go at the end of that line, and that's important because in the next round, the dice are going to start from there. So these actions are going to continue to move around through the whole rondel. We happen to start at this one in the corner that's got the gold push pin in it. And let's see. So if I take the 3, I would get an apiary or a fruit action. So that would mean marking the first spot on the apiary, and you really get into some juicy stuff up here where you get a lot of points or goods, but you can score some fruit actions early on in the apiary, so that's not bad. And I could take a fruit action, so I could start moving along one of the different fruit trees. I will say I was watching a playthrough of this, and losing these free actions stinks, and that might be one of the things that Farmer Edith might come and scratch out and take away from you. To stay ahead and get those, you have to be making sure you're getting goods throughout the game as fast as you can. So coming in here and maybe getting some raspberries quickly, which is going to be 3 goods for every time I fill in one of those, that might not be a bad thing. So I could grab that. I also have the 2 4s. They're on the plant or water. So I could plant up a bunch of stuff in the number 4 region. That's also cool. The number 4, the 2 pumpkins, if I finish growing them, there's a daffodil action right there. And that could allow me to get some free shed actions. And then there's 1 5, that's a shed time. Early shed times, maybe that's not a bad thing, because if I can get some abilities, like the shovel, for example. If I get the shovel, I can spend compost for a free action instead of adjusting die. It says 3 compost for 1 star action. That's pretty cool. The pitchfork, whenever I get a hydrangea, I get an extra compost, or the mulch, take 1 perennial action instead of a rondel action. So instead of taking whatever the die is on, I could take a perennial. So I could really march up the perennial. So you can see a lot of choices in this. I like this shovel. So I think I want to get started on the shed action, and I don't want Farmer Edith to be able to take anything away from me in the shed. So I'm going to come here, and I'm going to take the 5. So I have 2 different things that I'm going to do on my turn. Remember, I am going to do a plant or a water in the garden plot that matches the number. And then I'm going to do the space title, which is the shed time. And knowing that also at the end of this round, I'm going to get another shed time, that gives me the 2 that I need in order to get this shovel complete. So I could have this shovel done right away. Okay, cool. So I'm going to fill in the shed first just for giggles, and hopefully that purple shows up okay. And then with the 5, I'm going to come down here. I have nothing to water because I haven't planted anything. And what watering does is it adds the next box on to each thing that you've planted. So I'm going to do the planting action, and planting is, I believe, two. Sure, I'm teaching this right. I get to plant two things on a turn. Plant up to two crops in the indicated zone. Yep. But if I did watering, I would get to water everything in that zone. So I get to plant two things. There is only one pumpkin here. But I could get a pretty easy hydrangea, or no, that tulip would take a little bit of time because in order to get the perennial actions that are in between, you have to complete pumpkins on both sides of it. But this one's not hard. It's only two spots. So one of the things I'm going to plant is this pumpkin. And then the other thing I'm going to plant is one of my corns. I can't do a peas yet, remember, because I don't have a corn growing. Oh, you know what? I should get another color to mark what Farmer Edith is taking. Hold, please. Gonna go grab. Oh, cribbage and more. What's up? Howdy. The kitty emotes. I love it. I'll be right back. One sec. All right. Farmer Edith is going to be. Courage and more. How's your week going? Hope you're doing good, friend. Courage and more. Are you Book of Nerds? Am I? I don't remember. If you aren't, I apologize for that. But I know it is me. Excellent. Hello, friend. Yeah. There's the emote, buddy. John, I got to meet out in Philly at PAX U. That was a very fun weekend. He was very gracious to play a lot of great games with me, and had a lot of fun getting to know each other. So, hi, John. Hope you're doing well, friend. Okay. So I grabbed my die. I did my shed time. I planted my crops. So now Farmer Edith's gonna go. The way that Farmer Edith will take dice is she will always start at the space that has the golden pin, which is down here in this bottom right hand corner, and she's gonna take the die closest to that space. How you doing? So she's gonna take this 3. If this 3 wasn't there, she would continue clockwise, taking the next lowest die until she finally got to 1. So she takes this one, so she's going to take the 3, which means she's going to come here to the number 3 section, and she's going to take out some plants. I think it's just one planting phase. She crosses off garden. Crosses off 1 crop. Okay. And there is a hierarchy of crops. She starts by taking a pumpkin. If there are no pumpkins available, because I have already planted them, she will try to take out a corn. And if there are no corns, she'll try to take out beans. So up in section number 3, which is what she's doing, I haven't planted anything. So everything is available for her to take. So there are 2 different pumpkins. I get to choose which one she will take out since there are 2. So this one takes 3 spots to get 2 goods. This one takes 2 spots to get 1 good. Let's take out this one. So she took out that pumpkin. So that is from the 3. Then she took it from the apiary or fruit spot. There are 2 apiary or fruit spots on the rondelle. She's only going to do one of those 2 things. She's not going to take out both things in one fell swoop. And how they indicated it is where there is a blue thumbtack. So in this first one, the apiary or fruit, the blue tack is next to apiary. So she's going to take out from the apiary. So that's going to be up here. And when she takes out from an apiary, there's this cool little guide that tells you, based on the die number, which hive is she taking from. So since it's a 3, she is going to take from the wax hive, because that's the 3s or 4s, and she's going to take the topmost spot from there. So on this wax hive, which is the left-hand side, she's going to mark the last one. So now I can't get all the way up that track. So if I was going to go marching up the apiary track, I may decide to go one of the other ones because I can't go all the way to the top on the wax. So she's done her thing. Okay, so now I don't have a choice. I have to take the lowest value that's left, both of which are 4s. So I'm going to take a 4. First things first, I can plant. So I'm going to plant this pumpkin because that finishes that pumpkin off completely, and I get 1 good for that. So I'm going to come and fill in my first good spot. Excellent. And then with my second planting, I'm going to plant another pumpkin. I'm going to see about this crocus perennial action here that I might be able to grab. Okay, so that was my 4 value. Now I get to do the rondelle action, which is plant or water. That does not have to be in the 4 spot. So even though I grabbed a 4 from it, when I go to do the rondelle action of planting or watering, it could be whatever value I want it to be. So I could plant some more. I could do a watering. I know rain's going to come at the end of round 2. And I don't want Farmer Edith to be able to cross out too much. So here's the choice. I could come here to 5, and I could do a watering, which would finish off this pumpkin. It would get me a hydrangea action, plus 1 more growth. But that's not a whole lot. I want to be able to grow a lot of things. So I'm going to come in, and I'm going to start this other pumpkin here in 4. So I'm going to do the planting in 4 again. So that's one of my 2 plants. Now, Farmer Edith cannot take out any of the pumpkins in section 4. She's about to come to 4, right? I know this because that's the last die value. So I've protected all the pumpkins, and the only other thing left for me to plant is one of my corn. So now what's going to happen is I know that Farmer Edith is going to come here and she's going to take out one of the corns because all the pumpkins are protected. So the next thing on her agenda is eating up your corn. Okay, so I did my 4 action with some planting, and then with the rondelle action of plant or water, I did some more planting, and now Farmer Edith is going to come take her second turn. She is going to do a number 4, and that is going to take out corn here. Okay, so that corn can't be grown, which effectively means that that pea right there can't be grown because it has to have a corn at level 2. So kind of a bummer that I can't grow, or beans I should say, I can't grow those beans. Then when we do the plant or water action, rondelle action for Farmer Edith, crosses off 1 crop in the garden zone indicated by the... Okay, so she comes in and she's going to do that again. So because that was on the plant or water, she's going to follow the same number, which means she's going to come take out this other corn. Okay, so 4... I've planted everything I'm going to be able to plant there. So maybe that was a good idea that I got those last 2 in, because otherwise I might have had a lot of problems there. Okay, so Farmer Edith is done. Weather die, the last value chosen was a 4. So we're going to come and make the weather 4. And this says, at the start of rounds, take 1 perennial action. So at the start of next round, I get to take a perennial action. So that will be cool. It's going to be cloudy. We're doing a little bit of weather forecasting. All right, so the last thing we do, end of the round, we get to do a shed action. I started my shovel, and with this second shed action, I complete my shovel. So now, anytime I want, I can scratch 3 composts off. Well, I have to have them. I shouldn't say anytime. Anytime I have 3 composts, I can scratch them off and do a free star action anywhere but the gardens. So that is cool. All right, that is round 1. On to round 2. Okay, so starting where Farmer Edith's token was, we're going to put the first group of dice there, a 3. Then we have 2 4s in the apiary or fruit, and a 5 in the shed time. And then we'll put Farmer Edith here on the next spot on the rondel. Okay, so Farmer Edith will start. She is the first player in the even rounds. I go second in the odd rounds, or even rounds. So she's going to look here at the space that has the golden thumbtack, remember, and she's going to follow that clockwise until she comes across the first dice. So she's going to do the 3. So she is going to come to the 3 garden, and remember the hierarchy is take out a pumpkin first if she can, then corn, then peas. The third garden does have a pumpkin left. So she took out both of the pumpkins there in garden number 3. I don't get to plant any pumpkins there. Then on the compost and goods, oh, I think this is where I lose my first free action. Darn, darn, darn. Farmer Edith crosses off the next available bonus action on the goods track. Yeah, bummer. Okay, so she's going to come here and she's going to take that bonus action. She got me yapping, so I don't get to do my extra action and put my shoulder to the wheel and try to get a little extra out of the day. So what's going to happen is when I get more goods, I will skip that spot. Normally you would count that spot as one of your goods, but I will skip it. So I will go 1, 2, 3, and then go out to this next section. So I got to get some more goods so I can try to get some of those before she gets to them. Okay, so my choices are, I can take a 5 and do a shed time, or I can take a 4. Let's take a 4 because we're ready to do some watering in garden number 4. So I'm going to take this 4 and I'm going to come here and I'm going to water because there's nothing left to plant. I've already planted everything that I can, and Farmer Edith has taken out the other 2 points. So everything that I've planted that has space left to grow, some empty spaces on it, I get to mark the next one up. So I'm going to come here on this corn. It's growing. I'm going to come to this pumpkin. It's growing. And this pumpkin, it's growing. That's great. So I got to grow on those 3 things. One more pumpkin growth here, and I get this crocus action. And now I've got this corn up to the 2nd level, so I can plant some beans here if I want. I'm going to say beans and peas interactively, I think a lot, interchangeably. All right. So that was me. I did the 4. Oh, but I still get to do the apiary or fruit. So I talked about doing the raspberries. That gets me some goods. Yeah. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to do a raspberry. And I get 3 goods for that raspberry. So lots of stuff to sell at the farmers markets. Okay, so that is 3 goods there. And I just caught up to where she is taking out my bonus action. Farmers markets, there are 3 of them on the rounds track. 3, 5, and 7. I believe there are a few other places where you can trigger a farmers market. So there's going to be some chances, I think. Yeah, so this space right here, this rondel space, is a farmers market. So you could come sell goods. You're going to get extra stuff, better actions at the farmers market the more goods you have. So right now I've got 4, so that just put me up this next spot. So instead of just 1 compost, when we have a farmers market, I get to do a perennial action and a compost. So that's cool. So more goods means better farmers markets. So I did my raspberries as a fruit action. I did my 4 in the garden, and now it's Farmer Edith's turn. So she goes around from that golden pin, so she's going to take the other 4. So all of the pumpkins are planted. All of the corns are either planted or gone. So she's now going to knock out a bean. And again, I get to choose. Well, I don't want her to take out this one that I still have available to plant. So we're going to come take out the bean up there where she's already taken out the corn. So that's her plot now. I didn't get to get anything in there, but that's okay. Hopefully she'll give me a cut from the proceeds at the farmer's market. All right, so then for my second, she took that from the apiary or fruit, and the blue pin, which dictates which of those she's going to do, is on fruit over at this one. So now we look at the 4. We go to the fruit section, and that is from blackberries. So 4s and 5s means she takes out the furthest right on the blackberry track. So that's going to be over here. When we are doing our fruit actions, we start on the left. So she's shortening up how long these tracks might be. So the blackberries is all points. It's just points on points on points. So she stole the last one from that track. But that's okay, because I want to really get into some raspberries. Okay, so for my last one, I get a 5. So I can come here and... Oh, man, if I water... Oh, I forgot to take my free perennial action. Oh, okay, so before I take this last turn, I'll take this now. Where would I have wanted to do that? The crocus gives me compost. That's probably what I would have wanted, because I want some compost so I get some free actions. So we're going to do that. Crocus plus 2 compost. So we'll mark that we have 2 more. So I now have 3 available, and I can do my free action because of my shovel. Okay, caught up. So now I'm going to do the 5. And then I know I'm going to be having a shed time action. So I can do that first. You can do your 2 pieces in either order. What do we got in the shed? Mason jars get a good for every blackberry harvest. That's kind of cool. So if I kind of concentrate on all the berries in the fruit areas, I would get a lot of goods. And that only takes 1 shed action to get that power. Fancy labels would mean some stronger farmers markets. Attracting people's attention with my fancy labels. Carving kit. 1 point per harvested pumpkin in your longest chain. Oh, the seed spreader. Plant up to 3 crops instead of 2. Ooh, this is good stuff. Well, you know what? I feel like I've got a hydrangea coming soon, which would give me... just gets me an extra compost. That's not... Where's the other hydrangeas? Oh, but I could do those with any kind of perennial action. So anytime I got a perennial action, I could take it on the hydrangeas. Man, this is tricky. Well, I'm going after goods. So I think I want to get the mason jars. So anytime I get a fruit, I can take it on blackberries and get more goods. So that's pretty cool. Okay. Deadpan's here. What's up, friend? Hope you're doing well, sir. Hope everything on the East Coast is all right. Heard you all had some heat. I don't know if it got into your area or not, but it was not hot here. But man, on the news, it was sounding like other parts of the country were getting slammed. Soften your razor. How's it going? Today we actually had a breeze. Well, That's good. It's funny, man. Like, so we were living in the valley in Oregon, and it's cloudy a lot. It rains a lot. It gets hot during the summer, but it's not known for heat. Um, but here now we're on the eastern side of the state. It's sunny a lot more, which is a big positive. But I I don't do great in heat. But what's nice is it's always windy. It is so windy. So you go outside and it's like, okay, yeah, it's sunny and hot, but man, that wind makes it feel amazing. So I wear hats all the time, so that's all cool. Uh 90s plus. Oh, good thing we have a hobby that is good for staying inside. We had one of Jess's friends that she made at Red Castle at the local game store she was working at. He was out a few weeks ago, staying with us for the week or weekend, and it was warm, so we're inside and we're playing games. Well, then a fire started up not too far away, and it knocked out our power because where this fire was, one of our uh, electrical lines went through that area, and so it burned it, and so power's out. It's like, well, good thing we have an analog hobby. So power's out. We just went and got a lantern and sat in the living room playing some games. And um, oh yeah, what was it? It was about 3 or 4 years ago. There was this crazy ice storm that happened in Portland when we were living there, and our power was knocked out for about 36 hours. So Jess and I just sat in our bedroom, and we had a little heater to keep that room warm. We had a little battery pack that could power enough things to keep our phones charged and all that kind of stuff. And then we just sat and played games for like 2 days straight because there was no power. There was nothing else to do. It's like we are smart. When the power goes out, everybody's gonna come running for the board gamers for entertainment. Okay. Um. So I took my 5. I took my shed time. Oh, I didn't take my 5 yet. I've only planted once there. So I can either plant or I can water. If I plant, that's probably a good idea because I don't want to lose all my corn there. So let's plant 2 more corn. There's no more pumpkins. Now we're ready for a good watering in 5. Oh, and that was smart anyways. I'm so smart. Because at the end of this round, we get rain. So when you have a water action occur, watering focuses on one garden. And so watering is, from this rondel spot, plant or water, or when you take a numbered die, you can go to that spot and you can water everything in just that one garden plot. Rain, as makes sense, hits your whole garden. So everywhere where you've planted grows. So because it's raining, I'm going to get to go to every single garden plot and I am going to get to grow each piece individually. They say what to recommend so you don't miss or forget anything is start in one and then go around and do each one individually, each garden area. So we'll start in 1. I don't have anything until I get to 4. In 4, I get to grow this corn. I get to grow this pumpkin, which gets me 3 goods for completing. That's excellent. That also gets me a crocus because I've completed this pumpkin and I've completed this pumpkin. So the crocus is going to get me a compost. And then I get to do this pumpkin up here. Okay, so I did that and those 2. Okay, so that's 4 done. I've got 1 more spot to go on that pumpkin, and I've got 1 more spot to go on that corn. Now here in 5, I've got, I might need a different pen. Jess's presence is wearing out. She's running out of juice. All right. Well, it might get a little confusing. I'm just going to use Farmer Edith's pen. So I'm completing those spots. Then I get to also complete this pumpkin, which gets me a good. I am 1 good away from a free action. I completed this pumpkin, and I completed this pumpkin over here earlier. So the perennial in between I get right now, which is a hydrangea. On the hydrangea track, I come here, and that's a free apple. All right, so I get the first one on the apple track. Apple is just points. It takes 2 to get to the first one, which is 3 points. It takes another 2 to get to the next one, which is 3. But then after that, if you keep cranking, it's 3 every single time. So concentrating on apples could mean a lot of points, but I want to concentrate on blackberries because that's points and goods. I am 1 good away. Oh, I hope she doesn't take that away from me. Okay, so we finished the rain. The last die that was taken was the 5 by me. So that means we are going to have a hot day tomorrow. So round 3 is going to be hot, which means +1 good when harvesting fruit. So any spaces that I fill in over here in the fruit, I am going to get an extra good. So if I get goods, I get an additional one. If I don't get goods, I get at least one. So that's nice because I want goods. And it's an odd round, which means I will get to be first. So I think I'm going to be able to secure that bonus action. So let's roll these up. Let's see what we're doing. So we have 2 ones that are going to be here at the farmer's market. We have a 3 and a 5. Okay, so that's going to put Farmer Edith here at shed time. Okay, so ones, I don't have anything planted yet. That's good. 3, and if I do this, I get a farmer's market. I am at 9 goods, which means I would get a perennial and a compost. Nice. That's not bad. If I take the 3, I would get to do an apiary or action or fruit action. And remember, fruit gets me bonus goods. Oh, that's nice. 3, I could plant some stuff up here before she starts taking out all the corn. So maybe I do want to do that. Knowing she'll take one of these ones, but I can still take the other one. Okay, so let's come get the 3. I don't want her to take that away from me. And with the 3 up here in garden section number 3, there are no pumpkins available. So I'm going to start planting some corn. So I got something going on up there. Farmer Edith can't talk me out of. And then that came from the apiary or fruit section. So I'm going to come over here to fruit. Now I can take 3 raspberry or a raspberry, which gives me 3 goods plus a bonus. So I would get 4 goods. Oh. Yeah, we're going to do that. Okay, so we're going to take raspberries for my fruit from the rondelle. That gives me 3 goods plus 1 because it's a hot day. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That gave me a bonus action, which I'm going to use in raspberries again. So I get 3 more plus 1 because we're doing it on a hot day. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and that gives me a point down there. Okay, and that gave me another bonus action. So I could oh man. Yes. Let's keep doing that because we got a farmer's market happening, potentially even 2 farmer's markets happening this round. And if I can get up to 20 goods, I get more and more good stuff. So we're going to keep on trucking down this raspberry train. 3 goods plus an extra one. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives me another bonus action. I can keep on cranking. So we're going to go raspberries again, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this might be the last time I can do this. So let's go to the blackberries. So blackberries, I get 2 points. Plus, since I have the mason jars, I get 1 good. Plus, since it's a hot day and that's a fruit, I get an extra good. That was sweet. So I went cranking down that goods track. My farmer's market is going to be much better. So now that I'm at 20 goods, I get a perennial action and a free fruit action. So I can just keep on cranking down there. Oh man, that was sweet. Okay, so I did that and I did that. Farmer Edith is going to start here. Oh, I forgot she starts here at the apiary. Had I not taken that, she would have taken that. So she's actually going to come here because she always starts at that golden pin and moves clockwise from there. So she's going to take this 5 actually. So she's going to come to area number 5. The pumpkin is done. These 3 corns are done. So she's going to come up here and she's going to distract me from planting that corn. So I can't do that one. Then that was on the plant or water action, which means she's going to do it again. So she's going to come back to 5 and she's going to take out the other corn. All right. So I've planted everything I can plant in 5 now as well. This is, I mean, it stinks to lose stuff, but it kind of helps push me towards other areas. Now I have no reason to plant more in 5. I still can grow a lot, so I want to grow there. And 4, I can't plant anything in 4. So watering is good for those, but planting is not. So that helps make some choices. And that's everything for Farmer Edith's turn. Then I'm going to come here to the 1, because that's what's left. And you always have to take the lowest die when it's your turn on your second turn. So that's going to be the farmer's market. And 1. So I'm going to come plant first. There's another hydrangea there. So there's so many different perennials that you almost want to kind of like focus in on a few of them because you're not going to get all of them done. If you get up to the top, then you get bonus points. So 7 points, 12 points, 1 point for every fruit. So let's keep cranking on hydrangea. There is a hydrangea up here. So for planting, I am going to plant that pumpkin, which finishes it and gives me a good. That is not a fruit. Well, much of the fruit? I don't know. Fruit, veggies, who knows? But the hot day doesn't count because this is the fruit section. So I don't get a bonus good for that, even though I got a good. And then I'm going to plant this other pumpkin. So even if Farmer Edith takes things away, which she will, she's going to take away this one. So I won't be able to get that one because I know what she's going to do in a second. But I got the other 2. So good. So I did a 1 and I planted those 2. Now I get to do a farmer's market. So I have 28 goods. So I come to this farmer's market track and I look at the goods that have the number that I've achieved but haven't exceeded the next level of yet. So 0, I got 4, I got 20, I don't have 35 yet, so I'm on this 20 row. That is a free perennial and a free fruit marking. So let's do the fruit here again at the raspberries. 3 more goods, plus it's hot, so that's 4. That is another bonus action. So we're going to come do another raspberry. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was another bonus action. We're going to get another raspberry. 1, 2, 3, 4. That gave me 1 more bonus action. So we're going to grab this last one. We're going to milk those raspberries for everything we could. Didn't quite get to that last bonus action, but I got all of those fruit points there. Raspberries are done, so now I can start concentrating on the blackberries. Okay, then I get a free perennial. So that was just my free fruit. And now I'm over 40 in the farmer's market. So when I get to do one at the end of this round, I am actually going to get to do 2 perennials and a compost. So that's cool. Okay, so I get to do my free perennial now. I want to grow compost because that gets me the ability to get some free actions. So I'm going to come up the crocus track, which is a compost. So now I have 5 compost. Awesome. Ooh, hyacinth gives me free goods. Hydrangea gives me free fruits. Oh man, this is so fun. Okay, digging this. Okay, and that was, I did my 1, and then I did my farmer's market, and then Edith is going to do a 1. So she's going to come here to the 1 garden, and she's going to take out this pumpkin. So I don't get to do that one. And then from the farmer's market, she is going to come take out a tulip because it's a 1, and that's the power of her stall at the farmer's market. So she takes out the topmost one. So on the tulip track, I could not get all the way up here to the 1 point for every fruit. So I'm probably not going to want to do much on that tulip track altogether. I've started on crocus. I've started on hydrangea. I might start on 1 more, and we'll see how we do. Okay, so that was her. That was a 1. So the weather tracker is going to go over to foggy, no effects this round. So that was a nice. That's going to be a nice, easy. You know whether to deal with next round, good or bad. At the end of the round, I get to do another farmer's market. We are up at 40. So for 35, I get 2 perennials and a compost. So I'm gonna do a perennial there, which gets me 2 compost on there on the crocus track. I get another compost from the farmer's market, and then I get 1 more perennial. Do I start on the iris track? That gets me some planting and watering is worth 12 points if I can get to the top. Well, let's fill in one more. No, we'll probably get more. No, I want to beat her to it. I don't want her to potentially take out my crocus track. So I'm going to fill in my other perennial. It doesn't get me any kind of bonus right now, but it puts me 1 away. You know what? We're doing it with compost. So I'm going to knock out 3 compost. It allows me to do a free action, and I'm going to use that to finish off crocus. Now, Farmer Edith cannot potentially take that away from me. So that's protected, and I got those 6 points for the end of the game. All right, that is the end of round 3. So we're going to go into round 4. At the end of this round, there's going to be rain. So we're going to get a lot of growing, which is awesome. No weather effect. Even round, so Farmer Edith is going to be the first player. So these are going to go on the spot that she stopped on. And then 1 and a 4 and a 6. Okay, and then Farmer Edith will sit here on shed time. So we have 2 1s on shed time. We have compost and goods with a 4, and we have the apiary or fruit with a 6. So she goes first, starting here at the golden pin. She's going to come around and take one of these 1s. All right, so going back to garden plot number 1, all of the pumpkins have either been planted or taken out. So next is one of the corns. So she's going to come take out a corn. And then she is affecting shed time. So she is going to try to take out the mason jars, which are already claimed. So she does nothing. Yes. I was able to get away from her that time. She tried to talk my ear off, but I said, Farmer Edith, I gotta go. It's a foggy day, no bad weather. I'm going to go do some gardening. All right, my turn. So I can grab the other 1. Which would allow me to come plant. If I don't grab this, she's going to grab it, and she's going to take out another corn. So it's time for me to grab that. So I'm going to grab the 1 so that I can come plant these 2 last corns that are available. If I didn't do them, then I wouldn't be able to efficiently plant there in garden number 1. So I think that was a good call. Then I get to do a shed time. So I can come over here and I can start working on the next thing that I want. And maybe that is something that's going to score me points at the end of the game. I've got a shovel that's doing me some good. I've got mason jars that's doing me some good throughout the game. So maybe it's time for end game. So things like there's a new tractor, 18 points if I complete it, but that takes 6. That is a lot. Oh, this carving kit, 1 point per harvested pumpkin in the longest chain. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 complete right now. So that would be worth 4 points, but that's not as great. After rain, water a zone. So the rain barrel, I could do a lot of watering. It could help me grow. Fruit bowl, maybe that's worth it. So I've already got raspberries, blackberries, and apples. And the fruit bowl is 1, 2, or 3 different 1, 2, 3, or 4 different fruits gets you 1, 4, 7, or 10 points. So if I can complete this, I've already got 7 points sitting there and potentially up to 10. And it only takes 3 to do that. So let's start working on the fruit bowl. Okay, so that's what I did with my shed time. Now it's Farmer Edith's turn. So she's going to come around. She's going to take this 4. And so she's going to come to area number 4. And she's going to say, what can I talk you out of planting now? Another bean peas. Okay, so the only thing left here is 1 more bean area there to plant potentially. And then she's going to take out the next bonus action. Oh, I was 1 away. She gets it. Dang it. Almost had that one. What can you do? All right, so I get a 6 and the apiary fruit. I haven't done anything in 6 yet. I can't get this daffodil if I planted this pumpkin because she took out that pumpkin. I could potentially get a tulip, but I already kind of talked about maybe I don't want to do the tulip track because she took out the highest. So let's just plant a couple of corns. Maybe we can get some good action on corns. Because every corn that's completed is going to be worth 3 points at the end of the game. And then that could allow me to potentially plant some beans, which are worth 1 point at the end of the game. Okay, so with my 6, I did a plant. And there's going to be rain at the end of this, so planting a lot of stuff is good. Next, I get to do an apiary or fruit. So with the apiary, I haven't done anything up there, so let's stay away from that. With fruit, I will want to do some peaches to... 2 peaches gets me a free water, but blackberries gets me goods, and I'm going after goods. Okay, so I'm going to do the next blackberry, and each of those is worth 2 points apiece. Plus, for blackberries, I get a free good. So that gets me closer to another bonus action. So that is the end of my turn. Okay. So, end of the round. We're going to do... Oh, and the last number taken was a 6. So, weather for next round is windy. When planting, one of the seeds must be planted in an adjacent field. So, you're chucking them out there, and one goes where you want it, and the other one goes next door. So, that's going to be interesting to see. Well, that might be cool, because in some places, I've only got like one thing left to plant. And it's a waste to plant 2 things there at once. So being able to use the wind potentially might get me one of those and make it a more efficient way of planting. So, okay, I'm not mad about that. All right, but we got to do some rain, so we got to do some growing all the way through the entire garden. We start with garden plot number 1. We are going to grow there, there, and there. I think that's everything. Yes, we didn't finish any pumpkins yet. Here in 2, there's nothing. In 3, I've got 2 corns. I got some pretty good corn movement going. Nothing else. In 4, I have finished this corn. I have finished this pumpkin, which is 3 goods. Oh, 1 away. That also is a daffodil because this pumpkin and this pumpkin are done. So with the daffodil, where's that? I get to do a shed action. So we're going to keep working on our fruit bowl. Cool. And then, so that was that and that. Nothing else to grow there. In 5, I get to do that corn and that corn and that corn. Great. And then in 6, I get to do this corn and this corn. All right. That was a lot. That felt good. The H in Edith is for It's like edit, hater. Yes, soften your razor. Edith is a hater. She's the lover of her own garden. She wants to win all the ribbons, so she's trying to come sneakily get into your garden and mess things up. I can just see some Edith. Okay, so that was our rain. We're going into round 5, so we're halfway done. I was watching somebody play this on YouTube to get refreshed on all the rules and stuff, and she did the solo mode, and she knocked it out in like 24 minutes with some talking and stuff. I don't know how that she did that. I'm already like over an hour. All right. Ooh, interesting. We only have 2s and 3s. So 2s on the shed time, 3s on the farmer's market. All right, and this is an odd number, so this is going to be me going first. And remember, whenever I plant, I must plant to adjacent spaces as well as the one that I'm in. So I've got one thing that I can plant here in 4. So I may want to do one of these 3s so that I can get, but I am 1 good away from a farmer's market bump up. So I'm going to come and use 3 of these composts with my shovel, which gives me a free action. I'm going to come here to blackberries, sorry. Because for blackberries, I get a free good, and that gives me my 50th good, which gives me another free action. So we'll come cranking up. Where do we want to go? We're going to finish off the fruit bowl. I don't want Farmer Edith to be able to take that away. Because with these things in the shed, she can still take them and borrow them permanently from you, so you can't have them, if you haven't completed it yet. So even if you're only halfway done, she's like, I'm going to take your new tractor, sorry. So that's bogus, Farmer Edith. So I'm going to grab a 3. Because now I've got 50 goods, so I'm going to be able to do that one, which I'm excited about. So with that 3, let's go. I got to do 1 in either 2 or 4. So I'm going to do 1 of them here in 4, so I can plant this last thing. One bean down here. And then going to, up here in this section, plant a corn. Because I'm afraid Farmer Edith might try to get rid of some of those. And then I get to do a farmer's market with my 50 goods. So at 50 goods, I get 2 perennials and a fruit. So let's come cranking up this hyacinth, which is 2 goods and 2 goods for a total of 4 goods. And then because I also get a free fruit, I'm going to do that on blackberries, which gives me a free good, which gives me another free bonus action. Ha ha ha. Take that, Farmer Edith. Okay, so I finished the shed thing that I was working on. I could come down here in perennials and make sure that I'm going to keep cranking on hyacinth. Let's see if I can race to the top and beat her so she doesn't take away my 10 points there. Okay, so that was my turn. Farmer Edith's going to take one of these 2s. So she's going to come up here. Nothing's happening to yet. This is the first action. So she's going to take out that pumpkin. That's done. Then, because she took a 2 at this shed time, she's taking out the hive tool, Where is the hive tool? That is here. So she borrowed the hive tool. Go for it. I'm not working on apiaries anyway. So she keeps trying to take out my apiaries, and I'm like, I don't care, Edith. I'm not doing bees. There's no bee in Edith. Okay, so for my second turn, I have to take this too, because I always have to take the lowest number. So I think I may have forgotten to do that once or twice. I don't remember. I think I was doing pretty good, but if I forgot one time, on my second die, I always have to take the lowest number. So um, forgive me if I made that mistake. But I have to take a 2, so I'm going to come up here and I will plant some corn. And then I have to do something in the shed. So what should I do in the shed? I guess I could work on the string trimmer and try to get to that 6 points. Yeah. Well, now this carving kit got 1, 2, 3, 4. I could get up to 5 or 6 of that. No, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we're gonna start working on the string trimmer. Gotta whack those weeds. So I took the first one of those with my shed time. And then that is everything for me. Farmer Edith's going to come take this 3. So she is going to come to section number 3. And she's going to take out this last corn. Because all the pumpkins were planted. And the 3 of the 4 corns were planted. So she got the last one. Then with the 3 at the farmer's market, she's going to take out the iris points. Okay, excellent. I wasn't going for that. She's trying to sabotage my flowers, and she keeps missing, so we're good. Okay, so, and then the highest number that was taken last was the farmer's market, so, or the 3, I'm sorry. And next round it will be cold. We may not use the apiary. Okay, well, I wasn't planning on it, but who knows. All right, end of the round, I got a farmer's market. I am at 55 goods, which gets me 2 perennials. Let's get up this hyacinth as fast as we can. Gets me 2 goods. And then I get a free fruit. So I'm going to claim these blackberries as long as she lets me. Gets me another good. Almost got them all. I can't have that one. She took that away earlier. All right, so I got one more blackberry, and I can't get these last 2 goods anyway. So moving on to round 6. Let's roll. This is an even number round, so this will be Farmer Edith. So we got 2 2s, a 3, and a 6. So she is always going to grab from this golden pin, so she's going to grab one of these 2s. Come back here to section number 2. The pumpkin is taken, so next is corn. She's taking out that corn. And then at the apiary, she's going to go take out a 2, but I'm guessing that because it is cold, she can't use the apiary either. I'm going to play that way. If I can't use the apiary, Farmer Edith can't use the apiary. So, good try. The bees are cold. Leave them alone. All right, now I can take any of these. I am 2 goods away from another bonus action. I don't know that I want to go to the shed right. Oh, maybe I do because I want to get that string trimmer. If I come here to the 2, I can get another fruit. I can get that last fruit. Oh, that's just 1 good. That would leave me 1 good away. Man. Oh. So she's going to take this, which means she's going to try to go to the apiary again. Okay, you know what? I don't care about that. So she can have that. I will. Yeah, I'm going to take the 3 because she's going to take the 2 and that'll leave me the 6. Okay, so I'm going to take the 3. So I'm going to come up here to 3 and I can plant 2 beans. So now I got a lot of great stuff to water there. That's cool. And then I can plant or water. And now the planting or watering can be in any zone. If I do it here, I get another hydrangea and a couple of things. That's cool. If I do it in 3, that would finish. That's not bad. If I do it here in 5, oh, 5 is a good place. Oh, but I can rain. Rain will get me all those. 6. Let's water in 3. Okay, so with my planter water, I'm going to come water number 3. I grow that, and I finish the beans, and I grow that, and I finish the beans. Okay, cool. I should probably start circling the ones that I'm completing since I started using Farmer's Edith's color. So I got both those done. I don't have that. She knocked those out. She knocked those out. I got that. She knocked that out. She knocked that out. Don't have that yet. Okay. I think I've got all the ones I finished. Cool. Okay, so I took the 3. I did everything there in 3. She's going to come take this 2. So she is going to take out another bean. Or sorry, corn. She does not like corn. And then she would go to the apiary, but sorry, she can't because it's cold. So I'm going to come get this 6. With 6, I will... Do I want to plant? Eventually. No, that's going to get me hyacinth. I'm going to go for points. I'm going to take corns. See if I can get those going. So I'm going to plant in 6, and then I get shed time. So I'm going to come work on my string trimmer. I'm 1 away from 6 points there. Excellent. And 6 will mean next round is windy. So for planting, the seeds are going to scatter a bit. And then at the end of this round, we have a shed. I'm going to finish my string trimmer. So I got that. Great. All right, 2 more rounds. Almost done. Oh, we got a lot of options here. So we got a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6. And this is an odd number round, so I go first. I haven't gotten this space yet. If I come water there, it's not bad. Finish off some corns. And I get 4 goods, which would prevent her from taking... Yes, because if I don't take this, she's going to knock that out. Okay, so I'm going to take the 3. I'm going to water. Just finishing off that corn. Close to that one. Finishes off this corn. Not bad. Take that. Then I get a compost and 4 goods. So the compost gives me 3 compost available. So I might be able to use my shovel. And then I get 4 goods. 2, 3, 4. Which got me a bonus action, which I'm going to come here and use in the hyacinth. So she can't take that away from me. Okay, so that was everything for the 3. Farmer Edith is going to take the 4. So she is going to come to section number 4. There is nothing left for her to cross out. So sorry, Farmer Edith, but she's going to come to the fruit. And in the fruit with a 4, she is going to take out blackberries. Oh, she got my last one before I could. Dang it. All right, that's fine. I definitely want to get peaches. So with peaches, I'll get up on my fruit bowl, which is great. And then apples, I'll start getting some points. So I'm fine. I'm fine. I have to take the 5, because remember I have to take the lowest number. So in area 5, I can plant some stuff. That's not bad. Okay, I'll plant some beans. 2 beans, or not 2 beans. And then shed time. So starting to work on something else. Do I go for the tractor? Do I think I could finish the tractor? Not a lot of time, but man, cranking. I would need 6 pretty fast. Well, I mean, I could go rocketing up the daffodil, which is all sheds. Okay, let's go for it. We're going to try it. So I'm going to use my shed for a new tractor, the start of a new tractor. And I'm 3 goods away from another bonus action there. So I did mine. Now Farmer Edith's going to come. So that was a 6 as well. So it's going to stay windy. Oh, shoot. I planted and I forgot about the windiness. So this, I'll just cross out this beans. I didn't plant one there. We'll say she took that away. I have to plant over here in 6, which is fine. It's fine. I'll plant a bean there. Okay. Oopsie. Okay, so a 6, she is coming in here to 6, and she's going to take out a pumpkin, because that's her first choice. Then she's going to go to the farmer's market, and with the farmer's market and a 6, she's going to knock off the daffodil. So she does take away the points of what I was maybe going to do, but I might still do that just for the shed actions. We'll see. And we'll stay at windy. End of the round, farmer's market. So I have 62 goods, which still leaves me 2 perennials and a fruit. So with 2 perennials, I could come up here and get a shed. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to come up here and we're going to get some free shed actions. We're going to try to get that tractor before she borrows it permanently. Okay, so I got that. And then I get a free fruit. So let's get this apple. Make sure we grab those 3 points. And then we'll try to get some peaches at some point. All right, that was my farmer's market. Now we're going to go. We have rain at the end of this round, so a lot of stuff's going to grow. We have windiness. And this will be Farmer Edith for the last round going first. Oh, only 2 options, 5s and 6s. So the 2 5s mean apiary or fruit. The 6s are plant or water. Okay, not ideal. Would have been nice to get to do some other stuff, but we'll see what she wants to do. So she's going to start here and she's going to take a 5. She's going to come in here and she's going to knock out some beans. So she'll take these out because I get to choose which beans she takes. And then she's going to go to the apiary, and with a 5, she's going to take out the top of the split hive. So, okay, no harm, no foul. Now, I can take a 5, an apiary or fruit. I can take a 6. So if I was to come here to 5, I wouldn't have anything to plant. I would just want to water. And I don't want to water 5 because the rain is going to take care of all of those for me. So I think I want to come to 6 and water in 6 because these things need some help to be able to finish growing. Okay, so we're going to come to 6 and we are going to water. That's done. And then that's going up. And that's going up. That's going up. So I want to go up a little bit higher, and I'm actually going to get to because she's not going to take that 6. So good. And then I can plant or water. So I probably want to do some activity here in 1 because those are needing a little boot. Okay, so we're going to do our plant or water, and we're going to water in 1. Remember our weather is windiness, so if we were planting, we would be scattering seeds, but we're watering. So boost that, finish this, finish this pumpkin, which gets me 2 goods. Oh, so close. And that gets me a hydrangea. All right, well, I'm not going to get much out of those because the next 2 on the hydrangea track are raspberries and blackberries, and I've already got those complete. Okay, so I did this, and I watered. I feel like I did this one twice, and I didn't do this. Oh, well. It is what it is. Okay, so she's going to go. She's going to take this 5 again, so she's going to come knock out another bean. She hates vegetables, even though she's a gardener. And then she's going to come back to the apiary with the 5. And that is the split hive again. Don't care. Nice try. And then I get to come take this 6. So with the 6, I am going to water. So that finishes that. Or should I plant? Nah. Water. 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 Oh yeah, that was a better idea. Because that will allow me to finish those when it rains. Okay, so that was on plant or water. So I did the 6. So now I can plant or water. If I plant in 6, I would do it in 6 and 1. That would get me 2 points. If I water in 1, that will get me 3 points. So that's the better. All right, so we're going to water in 1 to get this up 1 away. Okay, so with my planter water action, I'm watering in 1. And then, okay, so that's that. And now we have rain. So everything gets watered, which means starting in 1. Oh, I didn't even come close to finishing this tractor. Well, with my last 3 composts, what'll get me any points? Oh, I need a peach. So we're going to do that. So that'll help me get 3 points there. Oh no, I gotta be a circle. Oh no. Did I miss on that? I need to put that somewhere else then. Miss, miss, miss. So I could do either of these, and that's a point. Yeah, because I'm not going to get anything else. Okay, so, because I'm guessing the fruit means, let's clarify. What does it mean to actually achieve a fruit? Is it just 1 space? Fill in the circles, you harvest those fruits. Yeah. So I needed 2. Dang, I waited too long. I needed 2 on peaches. I'm 1 good away from another. Oh, that. Am I going to finish any pumpkins? No. Brutal. Oh, that would have been a much better move. My bad. I missed it. So I didn't do this. I'm going to come over here and just get a point with my pitchfork. Because points is points. Okay, so raining here. Water here, but that doesn't do anything. Water here in 3. And to finish that. And that's everything there. Here, I finish this bean, which is good. Here, I finish that corn, and this bean, and this corn. And that bean was already gone. And then here, I finish this corn, and no beans. Okay, so that is all the rain. That is all the growth. I was 1 away from being able to finish my fruit bowl. I don't like peaches in my fruit, apparently. All right, so in the gardens, we're going to add up all our points. So everything that we completed, we either get 3 points for corn or 1 point for beans. So I got 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18, 21, 24, 25, 28, 31, 34, 37, 38, 41, 44. I'll take that. And then in perennials, any of the columns that you completed. So I finished the hyacinths and the crocuses for 16. Apiary, nothing. Fruit, I got 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 14, 16, 19 in fruit. In the shed, I got 6. Plus for the fruit bowl, I had 3 kinds of fruit for 7 more, so that's 13. And then 14 here for the mason jars, and 15 here for the pitchfork. And then the rest of the stuff's not worth anything, so what do we got? We got 50, 60, 79, 89, 94. And there is a little ranking on the back. All right, 94. I have become an internet famous blogger. Yeah. So here's our little grid. Let's see if we can get it not super shiny. Sorry. Yeah, it's not really going to show well. But basically, that is the second to highest category. So not bad. What did I need to get to the highest? I needed 100 points. So 6 away from being the highest potential category. So I feel pretty good about that. And that is Three Sisters solo mode. Farmer Edith tried to hold me back, but I am internet famous. So take that. And I thank you all for coming and joining me. Continue to wish Jess feeling all the betters. And we look forward to getting to see you guys together next week. And who knows what we're going to be playing. We don't know yet. We'll figure it out. But I hope you all have the best weeks possible to you. Continue to take care of yourselves, take care of your neighbors, do whatever good is in your power, and we'll keep on cranking. So thank you everybody for being here. Rest well, and we'll see you next time, okay? Later.